Garden in the first game of the Hartford Hall of Fame Showcase doubleheader. UConn and number 19 Gonzaga, and it's the Huskies out quickly. Jerome Dyson just buried a three for UConn to put them ahead 11-3 with 3.5 minutes gone by. The only bucket for Gonzaga on a three-point field goal by David Pendergraft. Jerome Dyson, a wild shot, and it's out of bounds. Last touched by Gonzaga's Robert Sacre. Third meeting ever between these two programs. They met in the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament in 1999. UConn won a thriller on its way to a national championship, and they met 2 years ago in the title game of the EA Sports Maui Invitational. Another dandy that went down to the final buzzer, and Jim Calhoun's team won that one as well. Denham Brown was the hero in Maui. Gonzaga and Mark Few trying to exact some revenge as they continue a very long road trip that started in Anchorage at the Great Alaska Shootout, where they played 3 games, finished in 3rd place. Thursday night they won an overtime game in Philadelphia against St. Joe's, and now here they are in Boston less than 2 full days later.
How about that, huh? Too easy against the zone, little corner jumper by Robinson.
And UConn coming out shooting the ball well. 2 threes by Jerome Dyson. That got this UConn team off, not a very good shooting team, off to a very good start against the 2-3 zone.
UConn 5-1, the only loss to Memphis at Madison Square Garden in the 2K Sports College Hoops Classic.
Downs had that open look earlier. He can be effective as Pendergraft tees up another, huh?
David Pendergraft, the senior, coming off 13 points in their win against St. Joe's Thursday night. Lapsed defensively, but Adrian missed, and Micah Downs, the transfer from Kansas, with the rebound for the Bulldogs of Gonzaga.
Well, they do such a good job of passing ahead. This is a very good transition defensive team in UConn, and Gonzaga's getting some early looks.
Jeremy Pargo fouled. The junior from Chicago will go to the free throw line after immediate timeout. 15.5 to go in the first half here on ESPN. And welcome back to one of the world's great cities, historic Boston, Massachusetts, the home of this year's the Hartford Hall of Fame Showcase. Doubleheader here today. In the first game, Gonzaga and UConn. Later today, we'll have it on ESPN Classic, Boston College and Providence. And in this one, fellas, Connecticut, a team that struggled to shoot for the last season, plus shooting very well early.
Well, Jerome Dyson got him off to the good start, knocking down a couple of threes. And Gonzaga's playing the 2-3 zone. They don't want to have to go out and guard their dribble penetration. And I think that UConn has done a really good job of being patient and waiting for a shot they can step into. And on the other hand, Bill, I think Gonzaga's been going too fast on the offensive end.
Quick shots, but also the 2-3 zone. I think fatigue, a very important aspect of today's game.
Jeremy Pargo will go to the line out of the media timeout. The junior shooting just 56% this year from the free throw line. He was an all-West Coast Conference selection last season for Gonzaga, as he averaged better than 12 points per game. Apparently a problem over at the scorers table.
Do you notice, Jay, how happy he is when he's in Syracuse or Boston? It is amazing. The lilt in his voice, the affection.
The 2 most beautiful places on earth, according to Sean McDonough.
When you're in heaven on earth, how could you be anything other than happy? Pargo's shot rolls off. He was a key component last year as they won their 7th straight West Coast Conference championship and their 8th WCC tournament title in the last 9 years. It is a dynasty that Gonzaga has going in its conference, as the Bulldogs have emerged as one of the best programs in the country over the last decade.
2-2-1.
And they attack it, right, as they should, right after the big fella.
More of a containment press, and as you say, looking to attack it to score, not just get the ball over half court and start your offense.
Hashim Thabit with 3 points now. He is much improved. Thabit at 7'3" has been playing basketball for only about 5 years. As a soccer player in Tanzania, Pargo rattles in a 3-pointer.
And he's been struggling from deep. 1 for 16, you were saying earlier?
Yeah, and missed his first one of the day today, but A.J. Price didn't even put a hand up on that. It was almost like he was daring Pargo to shoot it.
Yeah, they need a big game from Pargo. No Rivio to back him up. He's got to play hard and not foul, Sean.
A.J. Price, the point guard, had it rattle off, out of bounds, deflected. It'll go over to Gonzaga.
And they really attack this zone. Get it to the middle. The big fella goes where he should, right to the box. And not able to finish strong, but finish nevertheless.
But those are plays, Bill, that he's got to make. First, the catch. That's the most important thing, to have his hands ready and make sure he makes the catch. He needs to get more explosive off the floor to be able to finish those plays with contact.
And don't bring the ball down. It's something he's done in earlier games.
Really still an infant in terms of his basketball development. Rick Pitino said last year if Thabit stayed in college for 3 years, he'd be one of the best players in the country. This is his second collegiate season. Micah Downs for Gonzaga, his first bucket, and all of a sudden the Bulldogs within 3, 6 minutes in.
He's got great size and length, and he's pretty good going to the rim. We talked about his three-point shooting as well.
Uses fakes really well walked there by Jeff Adrian. Normally Downs is a starter. Didn't start in this ball game because he got a technical foul in the St. Joe's game up on Hawk Hill the other night.
They had a wild game, had an early double-digit lead in the first half at the field house on the St. Joe's campus. St. Joe's rallied back, and Gonzaga prevailed in overtime.
Now, what a great atmosphere for a college game, too. They've been going at it against one another for a few years now.
UCLA cut. This team does such a great job of back cutting against the overplay. It slid Bolden into the low post, and he can post a guard.
And they should lift the beat, I think, if they're going to post him.
And involve him in screening action.
Yep.
Pendergraft. The feet up to the ceiling to peel down the rebound. Here's Craig Austrie, now a backup guard. He handed it off for a 3 from Jerome Dyson, the sophomore from Rockville, Maryland.
What a difference. All East rookie team, but when he shoots the ball, what a different look offensively.
Well, he's streaky, and right now he's on a hot streak. That was an NBA 3. That was beyond the NBA line. And George Blaney, yesterday in practice, the great assistant from UConn, was telling his guys, hey, wait till you get paid before you start taking that shot.
Officials confer, and Gonzaga will keep the ball. John Hampton, the outside official, in to help his teammates Hal Lusk and Stephen Pyatt.
I don't know what it is, Bill, about players, but you put another line out there deeper
they go
on the
for
three-point line, they go for that
exactly.
line. It's amazing. They'll shoot at the furthest line they can.
Day back on the floor, Sean, a guy that's going to have to give them a lift, I think.
Well, shot fakes, ball fakes are very important against UConn. They're so active, they'll go for them.
6 to shoot for Gonzaga. Bolden recognizes that. Took a college 3 and missed it. Out of bounds this time. Last touch by Gonzaga. Both Day, the freshman, and Abdullah Kuso were there.
And Gavin Edwards on the floor, too, can block some shots. As George told both Jay and myself, he's learning some offense, too. They just want him to go play.
I like Mark Few staying with his 2-3 zone. You know that UConn can make shots. The question is, can they make enough of them to beat you?
The Boeheim philosophy. Yes, so far.
Yeah, it's Austrie this time. Carrying a 3. The junior from Stamford, Connecticut, where he's a prolific scorer at Trinity Catholic with his first points.
Pick and pop. Got to get it to him.
Day passed up an open 3 and got fouled on the drive.
Well, he's got a nice pace to his game. He can break you down, face him, and put it on the deck.
Just getting it to the middle draws 3 different defenders, and it draws Jeremy Pargo off of Craig Austrie. He has to close out to him. Austrie catches it, ready to shoot. That was good zone offense. Get it into the middle. I think the pass to the middle was the pass that led to the assist. That was really good basketball.
Austin Day has made 24 free throws in a row, now 25. He's 36 for 40 as a collegiate free throw shooter. Freshman from Irvine, California, in Southern California, out of Woodbridge High School. Took over the number 5 from the graduated Derek Ribio, who was the best free throw shooter in the country during his career. 3-time NCAA leader. A couple of years ago, 96% for Ribio. So give that number 5 to whoever you want to make a lot of free throws.
It works. Of course, what a start against Montana and Idaho. This kid can ring the bell, really understands the game.
Well, his dad was a terrific player. Darren Day played at UCLA out of Kennedy High School in Los Angeles.
Went on to the NBA, played here in Boston for the Celtics for a while.
Well, they are getting good shots. Oh, you're right.
There's a push by Kuso in the back of Thabit, who had inside position.
And the foul on Kuso is his second. And the third on Gonzaga. They're down by a touchdown. A little more than 8 minutes gone by here in Boston. One legend talking about another. Gino Auriemma, national championship winning women's coach at Connecticut, on the great Jim Valfano. And we invite you to join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Please call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V or log on to www.jimmyv.org to donate and help fight cancer.
What a piece of work he was. Great time. And today, Denny Crum was part of a panel with your Jay Billis, reminiscing a little bit about the Final Four in Dallas.
Yeah, and why he hasn't sent me a thank you note for getting him that ring.
Larry Gerganius just off the bench for Gonzaga, missed, but Micah Downs kept it alive, and now Jeremy Pargo resets the offense.
Gonzaga's been taking a lot of difficult shots. Like, that is a tough shot. Gerganius' shot was good. That is a really tough shot when you try to go over a skyscraper inside.
It almost looks like a broom is in his hand. He's so big.
Boy, Austrie confident off the bench. That one rattled out. Foul on the rebounding action. Austin Day and Gavin Edwards got tangled up. And the foul's on Day, his second. So some early foul concerns for Gonzaga. Day and Kuso, a couple of starters each with 2.
Gonzaga really struggling right now with the physical nature of UConn, especially on UConn's offensive glass. It's been difficult for the Zags to keep them off the offensive board.
Well, that zone, as we know, is so difficult to identify who to check out, who to stick. Your guards really have to help you.
Wow. There's a 3 for A.J. Price, the junior from Amityville, New York. He has 5.
Boy, they just rolled Tabit to the basket. You're so worried about the lob. And then the inbounds man, you always have to be concerned about the inbounds man and out-of-bounds under.
Price looks like a different player, Sean.
Sat out for a couple of seasons. There's a response by Micah Downs.
Such a smooth player. He's got every skill you want, and as he gets stronger, Micah Downs is going to be a great player in the West Coast Conference. Started out at Kansas under Bill Self.
See, that would drive you nuts, though, right? Trying to dribble through a zone, and of course, Micah coming off a nice ball, slap back pass. Kid's got range, can put it on the deck. He's a tough matchup for people because of that size.
Well, he's so long as well. When he gets up on his shot, very difficult to recover to him with a hand up and really bother that shot.
Backdoor guard around. The dribble handoff on that, too.
And Pargo a step back 3. And here come the Bulldogs again, back within 5, nearly midway through the first half here in Boston. Adrian passed it out. Boy, those guards are shooting confidently today. A.J. Price, a 3. He had 6 all year. He has 2 in this ball game. They don't have a player on their team averaging more than 1 3-pointer made per game.
Well, George Blaney's smiling over there. He does a lot of work with their shooting, and when they light it up, boy, does that help the inside guys too.
And they've been waiting as Gerganius gets to the rim and goes over Tabit, and Jim Calhoun really upset that Tabit didn't knock that thing away. He doesn't put a 7-3 guy out there to watch a little guy shooting.
And a timeout called by the longtime Husky coach.
Timeout.
Connecticut by 6. More than midway through the first half. Sean McDonough, Jay Billis, Bill Raftery. It's the sold-out TD Bank North Garden. It's the Hartford Hall of Fame Showcase in its second year. Last season, this event was in Phoenix. Gonzaga participated in that one and beat Texas.
And we were there with Dave O'Brien, a real pro, I might add. Couldn't get Jay off the golf course. I did half the game myself.
Jeff Adrian in traffic. Tough one-handed shot. Well, I think Tabit got the message that Jim Calhoun wanted him to be a little more aggressive. He went over the back for that offensive rebound and got called for his first foul.
How about the foot speed of Calhoun prior to that timeout? I mean, he was out big, blocked the shot.
Well, he holds you accountable for the things that he knows you can do. And he knows that Tabit can challenge every shot when he's in there and wants him to do that.
UConn has had prolific shot blockers. They've led the nation in blocked shots each of the last 6 years. Pendergraft open at the elbow. That was an air ball, but Gerganius, who brings so much energy to their team, in the right place at the right time. He has 4 off the bench.
Well, he lights them up, Sean. Ooh, once again, nothing. It looked good for the folks, not for the team.
Dyson tried to fly in, never did get the shot up on the rim. Pargo took a bump. And he'll go to the line with a chance to make it a 2-point game. It feels like Gonzaga's been badly outplayed here in the first 11 minutes, but they're right in it.
And you know, Sean, number 2.
That's the kind of play that drives a big guy crazy. To beat goes up for that block. There's the great play by Gerganius on the offensive rebound. Whenever there's an air ball, it's the offensive players that have a better shot to get it. But that last play where Pargo took it in, to beat went straight up, and Pargo came into him. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't a foul or all that, but boy, they tell you that you've got the space all the way up to the ceiling if you go straight up, but it's never called that way.
Sean Gerganius, you mentioned the energy. I mean, he's a game changer for this team, and that's number 2 for the big fella.
He's out, the beat, and Gavin Edwards is in. 1 out of 2 at the line from Pargo. Certainly helped Gonzaga this year. Pargo could fare better from the free throw line than his 56%. Nice offense there. Adrian missed a shorty, and then Gavin Edwards went up for a dunk attempt.
I think he used a little stool to get up there. I just like this kid's upside.
He's going to be a good player. He's got to get a little tougher, but Jeff Adrian's got to get tougher as well. He's had 2 opportunities inside. He's got to score or get fouled.
Call was offensive basket interference against Edwards. And Jim Calhoun said yesterday he wants Adrian to be a warrior. Pargo went right through the defense and missed the layup.
But the double high pick refused it in a wide open lane to the basket.
Price, wow, he and Dyson are now 6 out of 7 combined from 3-point range. They had a total of 10 threes combined all year. Before today, they have 6 in the first half together.
Well, they are drilling them, that 2-3 zone.
Price came out of high school with the reputation as a shooter.
Zachary, the Canadian. Crowd wanted to walk, and then Edwards called for a foul, and Jim Calhoun is irate. First he wanted to walk, and then he didn't like the foul call as well. He also thought there could have been a 3-second call. Other than that, he liked that scene.
Yeah, he likes being in Boston. That's about it.
Price coming down. Gonzaga was in man-to-man, and nobody picked him up. You got to pick up the ball when you play UConn and make sure that you don't allow open opportunities.
Another miss from the line for Gonzaga. Gerganius, who redshirted last year with a back injury. Bulldogs are just 4 out of 7 from the free throw line now.
One thing that UConn has to be a little bit careful of. They can't fall in love with the jump shot. They have to keep taking it to the rim and putting pressure on the Gonzaga defense, because you can't expect to shoot 5 of 6 every time you launch up 6 threes.
And Mark Few really rotating bodies because of the extended road trip.
Yeah, I don't know who makes the schedule, but when you go from Anchorage to Philadelphia to Boston, play 5 games in the span of about 10 days over that geographical spread, you are taxing everybody in your program, but that's part of what has put this program on the map. They play marquee games all over the country. We mentioned they played Texas and beat Kevin Durant, the Longhorns, rather handily in Phoenix last year. That's been one of their trademarks.
Well, and then they fly back to the state of Washington to take on Washington State.
What a great game that'll be. I think he's just depositing money around the country trying to hide it. He being Mark Few.
Well, Gonzaga was done well by Mark Few. They've done a good job keeping him there because he's had a number of opportunities to leave with the phenomenal record that he has amassed. As we mentioned at the top of the telecast, the winningest coach in the country with over 80% in the win column. Price the free throws. He has 13 points here in the first half. That's his average per game for the year, and the Husky lead is back to 7.
Yeah, he's sporting the biggest shirt collar I've ever seen.
You're killing the guy.
He looks like the Flying Nun there. Look at the size of that thing.
Jay and I have both been out there, Sean, and you can see why he loves it. He's got a beautiful home. They love this program in that great city, Spokane. He's bigger than Bing Crosby was when he went there.
And he
another contemporary reference.
Yes.
Another contemporary reference.
Panograph passed it inside, and Bolden was fouled. Jim Calhoun still less than thrilled as Dyson was called for his second. Connecticut leads by 7 under 8 minutes remaining in the first half here at the TD Bank North Garden in Boston. Jerome Dyson and A.J. Price came in a combined 10 for 32 for the year from three-point range. They are 6 for 7 from three today and have teamed up for 22 points.
Well, Dyson started it off, knocking down the first 2 threes against that 2-3 zone. 6 of 7 for those two, as you mentioned, John. And when you hit shots, the world looks a lot brighter.
Well, it sure does. And of course, last year, I remember talking to Patrick Sellers, one of the assistants for Calhoun, and he was saying, talk to this kid. He doesn't have the confidence. I think now he's just playing. He's not looking over his shoulder. He feels comfortable. He can run the show and be that combo guard on occasion by drilling the deep ones.
Well, the coaches in that shot there, Patrick Sellers was the furthest from the camera. George Blaney, Andre LaFleur, the other assistant. Seems strange to look over that UConn bench and not see Tom Moore. 13 years on the Connecticut staff, now in his first year as head coach at Quinnipiac in Connecticut. Pargo missed a shorty, and it got tipped out to Micah Downs. Pargo, Downs, Bolden, Sacre, and Pendergraft for Gonzaga.
Price took the ball all the way on that last possession. They got to keep doing that, attacking the rim when they have the opportunity.
Bolden very good without the ball. I'm surprised they don't get him inside a little more.
They just look a little tired to me.
I think, and then mentally maybe as well.
Not as sharp offensively as they could be.
Bolden shot was open and well off, and a nice finish at the other end by Doug Wiggins, who's been giving them 7.5 points per game off the bench at the guard position, a sophomore from East Hartford.
Instant offense with great. There's the cut and the dish. Strong.
And Sacre with the sweet finish, with Edwards trying to defend.
Sacre bleu.
Robert Sacre's a freshman from North Vancouver, British Columbia. His dad, Greg LaFleur, was a tight end of the NFL for three different teams.
Double high picks, back screen for the screener, and that opens up the offensive glass.
Adrian rebounded the Price miss, and he was fouled by Sacre. First foul on Robert, and the 6th on the team.
And Sean, the activity of Bolden, he's so good without the ball. He draws people, and that opens up a little dump off.
He does a good job of curling screens when he comes off those handoffs. Curls right around. He can pull up, and just an extraordinary passer with a great feel for the game.
You guys are very jealous of his hairdo too.
Looks like a bird's nest. Do they offer scholarships based on the worst hairdo? They had Morrison there.
Well, that's a good hairdo, Jay. You have hair envy. Come on, admit it. Coach Q said yesterday he looks like a sheepdog.
He's like the lady in Ferris Bueller's Day Off that kept taking pencils out of her hair.
Jay's just not a customer. He's an owner.
You can hear the envy in that comment, can't you, Bill?
I do.
Hear the hair envy.
Oozing out here.
4 points for Jeff Adrian. Coming off his 19th career double-double the other night against Florida A&M. He had 16 points and 15 rebounds against the Rattlers. Bolden lost it as he hit the deck, and Gavin Edwards took it away. Here's Wiggins with the push. Stanley Robinson charged. Good defense by Pendergraft. And an interesting hairstyle. This is hairstyle evaluation part of the telecast here. So we reflect back on Adam Morrison, now in the NBA with the Bobcats, but injured.
In need of hairnets on occasion.
We'll see, Matt Santangelo, Richie Fromm, they set the standard for great guard play. And Morrison set the standard for bad play.
And Dick Al had kind of the same hairdo that Bolden has.
Dicko did. John Stockton did not, however. Nice shape up, strong.
By Sacre and a little jump hook.
Gavin Edwards cannot allow himself to get pinned down in that low post like that and give up the deep post. He just got bullied by Sacre down low.
Yeah, the man-to-man's got a little spark in this club the last few minutes.
And the three wouldn't go out of the corner for Craig Austrie. Edwards took it away, but then lost it across the sideline.
Defensively, just falling asleep, Jay. You got to be prepared, lead the guy in, a little jump hook. They do a great job high-low, ducking in and finding the guy. And usually it's Bolden down there.
And it's a great seal by Sacre, but as a big guy, you've got to move as the ball moves, adjust your position, and play your man up the line. That is way too easy.
Well, they take Edwards out, and Jonathan Mandeldove, who just came in to take Edwards' place, blocked that shot.
Good look.
And another open perimeter shot. Austria the miss, but Jeff Adrian's there. And the junior from right here in Boston is 6 points. He said he really scuffled to find about 20 tickets for family and friends. And he said he had a lot of other folks he just couldn't accommodate who wanted to be here who were on their own. Downs responded with a 3.
We've got a McDonough zone here as well. Brother Ryan and friends.
The building is starting to fill up for this doubleheader. Boston College and Providence at approximately 6 Eastern time on ESPN Classic. And an offensive foul called. A.J. Price charged into Pendergraft.
He really reads things well, David. He's been around. He's been a valuable role player, a 6th man. Now he's making shots. He's got to be under control. Excuse me, Jay.
But he's much more skilled than he gets credit for. I mean, he lays his body on the line. He's probably the toughest player that the Zags have. He plays hurt, rebounds. He's guarded just about everybody. I mean, he's guarded anybody from Kevin Durant to Brandon Wright to Tyler Hansbrough, Rodney Stuckey, Morris Allman, you name it. Pendergraft is guarding him.
A little 2-3, Sean. Nice high-low here. There's the Bolden shape-up.
And he was fouled before the shot. Tuesday night, Jimmy B Week continues with the Jimmy B Classic doubleheader on ESPN at 7 Eastern. Freshman phenom Michael Beasley plays Kansas State against Notre Dame. And then at 9 Eastern, diaper dandy O.J. Mayo and 24th ranked USC take on Chris Douglas Roberts and the Memphis Tigers, the only team to hand Connecticut a defeat so far this year. It's the Jimmy B Classic, part of Jimmy B Week on ESPN. Tuesday, Bolden after the foul on Price, his 2nd foul, and some of the freshmen on display.
And Jay, how about Beasley? If he stayed 4 years, how many rebounds would he have?
Oh, he'd be like Walt Bellamy or something like that. The guy's Lucas, a tremendous rebounder that has great hands. You know, it's funny, the freshmen are going to be a showcase in those games, but I'm not sure anybody's been better than Chris Douglas Roberts, and he's not getting any mention except by Sean McDonough just a second ago.
Exactly.
Chance to make it a 1-point game, and Pargo does. 4 minutes to go, first half. Gonzaga back within 1.
Well, you watch the Zags over the year. They do not pack the tack.
Gonzaga was down by as many as 10 here in the first half. Wiggins, tough shot.
Settle.
Way off. It hit the top of the backboard. Then Mandeldub tipped it, kept it alive. And the drop-in bucket by Stanley Robinson, the sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama.
UConn really needs to do a better job of picking up defensively, getting a hand up, because they're getting beaten by open shots here.
Tell you, is that deep and quick?
Deep and fading away from Micah Downs, but it's so often the case. Pendergraft in the right spot. Pargo long with a 3. Tired legs, it seems, on the Gonzaga squad.
Stanley Robinson got lucky. He dove for a ball he didn't need to dive for and took himself out of the play.
Adrian back for Robinson. Tough baseline jumper, and he buried it.
And a nice judgment by Adrian, too. He almost got into a walk situation, but a terrific dish.
Well, Gonzaga is making UConn take and make a lot of tough shots. The question is UConn going to be able to make these shots for another 20-some minutes?
And Bolden's got a matchup down there. They should get him the basketball.
The lack of offense was a big problem for Connecticut last year. They averaged only 70 points per game. Zachary fouled. They'll have a chance for a 3-point play.
And that's all because of Bolden. The dribble drive, a little help, and then the dish.
Foul on Mandeldub, his first, in the free throw after the timeout. That makes it quite a sports day here in Boston. A lot of the BC fans will come in here to watch them play Providence in the second game of our basketball doubleheader, or lingering at home, or perhaps in a tavern or two in the neighborhood to watch the football game between BC and Virginia Tech, the winner to the Orange Bowl. Here it's a tight game. Robert Zachary a chance to shoot a free throw.
And you can see the help, the bounce attracts people, and a nice dive by Zachary.
And not a rotation at all off that double team on the baseline.
It's one of the things I like about Boston, Sean. They do have some establishments.
All within, many of them, within a walking distance of this fine facility.
2-3 zone again by Gonzaga. Good side-to-side action.
Pretty good reaction in the back by the zone. Zachary filling that area. This
not a strong move by Robinson.
I know he's going to be good though.
13 on the shot clock for Connecticut as Austrie plays it in. With Wiggins, Adrian, Edwards, and Robinson for Coach Jim Calhoun. Eight to shoot. Nearing 2 minutes left in the half. Connecticut led by as many as 10. Wiggins, an NBA three, and the rebound down to Sacre. And now a three ball could tie it for the Bulldogs with under 2 to go in the half.
Got to be careful with the shots, UConn. I mean, get the big guys a touch.
Well, this comeback, Pargo has been terrific, and Sacre's done a nice job, but a poor feed by Pendergraft. He was leading it more out of bounds, and Sacre just trying to hold his position.
Well, Sacre's been impressive. We mentioned his dad, Greg LaFleur, an NFL tight end. And now the athletic director at Southern University, Mom Leslie Sacre, basketball player at LSU. So he has good genes. He's been impressive here in the first half.
Sure has.
Been strong, and they needed that strong presence. Curtis Kelly trying to screen along the baseline. Bad shot.
And Robinson fouled on the arm. You get bailed out by Matt Holden. Called for his first foul, and Gonzaga's over the limit.
Kelly, you mentioned Curtis Kelly. Early in the year, he was playing a little bit more. They were very impressed with his play.
Played great in practice when I went up to see UConn early in the season. And the left-hander out of Rice High School just struggling a little bit with his confidence. He'll get it together. But I think you're right about Robinson. He's supremely talented. Hadn't shot the ball particularly well. But he's just got to get that motor going where you can expect a consistent performance from him. You know what you're going to get in, game out.
Well, a good trip to the line for Stanley. He was 3 for 12 for the year from the free throw line. He made those two his first of the day. And the UConn lead 5-1-20 to go first half.
2-3 zone now by Gonzaga. Important minute and a half to finish this half up. Gonzaga only 2 possessions down.
And the middle has been wide open, too, if they flash somebody.
Holden. Now Downs nearly traveled. Sacre, 8 to shoot. Downs another fadeaway three and gets the soft bounce off the front rim.
Just enough, Sean, and he's leaning backwards.
Well, he's not afraid to take a big shot, is he?
Not at all.
There's 10 points. Downs' season high is 15 in their only loss to Texas Tech up in the Great Alaska Shootout. Well, Robinson almost shuffled his feet, pondering what to do.
And he shot it as an afterthought, Sean. And he passed up the open one and took the challenge one.
They've never led, but a three-pointer could send Gonzaga out of the locker room with the lead for the first time. Down by 2, 20 seconds to go till halftime.
He wants that open middle. They pass and cut out of this where Pargo turns the corner.
Keep it as wide as possible. And Curtis Kelly doesn't need to guard Sacre out top, but he does need to box him out.
Pendergraft for the lead at the half.
How about that? Pick and pop. Woo.
That is the end of the first half, fans.
Small group of Gonzaga fans cheering on the small Jesuit University 3,000 miles from home, and Pendergraft finishes a terrific half with that three.
And a great throwback. We talked about how important the last minute and a half was, and Gonzaga dominated the last minute and a half. They lead.
45-44 for the Bulldogs at the half. Here's Ryan Burr with the UPS halftime report. And welcome back to Boston, Massachusetts, and the Hartford Hall of Fame Showcase. First game of a basketball doubleheader here today. Boston College and Providence later on in the first half here in this one. An interesting set of developments. Connecticut had control of the game early, it seemed, leading by 10, but they went cold from outside, and Gonzaga heated up.
Seemed like Connecticut fell in love with the jump shot a little bit. Started out hitting so many 9 of 17 to start the ball game, and really went downhill because of all the jump shots. But a tired Gonzaga team really got some life when Hashim Tabit went out of the ball game, and Jeremy Pargo really, I thought, took over in large measure in this game. He came into this game shooting 1 of 16 from 3. In the first half, he was 3 of 5 from deep. They weren't really getting a hand up on him, but you can bet in the second half that they're going to get a hand up on Pargo going under the screen, giving him some space. He pulls up right in their grill to knock it down. 11 points for him, Billy.
You can see the solid number by him and others, and David Pendergraft just solid picking up charges. Gonzaga shoots 32% from threes for the year. Today, 50%. That'll tell you something.
Yeah, and Connecticut made 7 of their first 11 threes, ended the half missing their last 5. So it's Gonzaga with a 1-point lead as the second half begins with a quick whistle. 7 seconds in. UConn ball. They're dressed in white. And I think there's a problem with the shot clock. It never moved.
Much like our partner Bill Raftery.
During the day, I'm a little slow.
Moved.
Hey, how about all the Celtic players in the building too, Sean? Ray Allen, Brian Scalabrine. There's a different air in this town about the Celtics, isn't there?
And there are a lot of former UConn players here and former Zags as well.
Yeah.
Jerome Dyson a 3. He has 12 points. He's 4 out of 5 from 3-point range. And Connecticut quickly reclaims the lead. The only lead of the first half was in the final second of the half when Pendergraft made the 3 to send them to the dressing room with the lead.
Dyson on Bolden, a little slap out of bounds. A tough little matchup they can exploit.
One thing that UConn has to be careful of is they don't just settle for jump shots against Gonzaga. I thought the latter stages of the first half, they were settling for jumpers. This is not a jump shooting team. This is a team that has to get the ball into the paint and to the rim.
Matt Bolden used the screen from Abdullah Kuso. Here's Kuso now working on Papito, who has 2 fouls and might have gotten away with his 3rd one. There was a little bump on Kuso's way up, and Jeff Adrian took down the rebound.
Just his presence helps change the shot that Kuso puts up inside. The box set right now by UConn.
They call this their circle play. They run small forward and the guard all around the bumps on the baseline.
3 straight staggers.
And Robinson, a very tough shot fading away, hit the deck, and the ball bounced right back to him as he got up. And then a leaner wouldn't drop for Jerome Dyson, but he'll have a chance for 2 at the free throw line.
Well, how smart was Dyson, Sean? What great making yourself available. Nice dive, curl around, fuse guys, and gets the opportunity for the deuce.
He's better when he's attacking the basket, not only in transition but off the dribble, and his shot can complement that.
Dyson, sophomore from Rockville, Maryland, went to Proctor Academy in New Hampshire. Unanimous Big East All-Rookie Team player last year when he led the Huskies in scoring at 13.8 per game. It was a disappointing year for UConn. They started 11-0 last year and then lost 14 of the last 20. Did not make the postseason, NIT or NCAA tournament. First time that's happened since Jim Calhoun's first year in Stores back in 1986-87.
That's the earliest vacation he's ever had, huh?
You can see already an adjustment with Pargo. They're going over those ball screens instead underneath. They're not daring him to shoot anymore.
Just another change.
By Fabit, as he got tangled up with Abdullah Kuso after the shot. The Beaks from Tanzania and Kuso's from Nigeria. And traveling the call, and the Huskies and Coach Calhoun are perplexed about that whistle.
Now the runner.
Jim Calhoun back in his hometown from Braintree, Massachusetts, in the south suburbs, only about 15 minutes away from here at the TD Bank North Garden. He has 4 sisters and a brother who still live in this area. He told us yesterday his brother's a cardiologist who got all the brains among the males in the family. Pargo a 3.
You jumped right on that too.
You've really got to make Pargo now put the ball on the floor, make him into a driver, because he's killing you from the perimeter.
Robinson missed. Bolden the rebound. The kick ahead for Kuso. Robinson hustled back to defend. Micah Downs fouled on the putback.
Boy, how about the spin and getting a shot out of that? That's a 2-shot foul now for Micah Downs.
Yeah, if he came down, he may not have gotten it, but that kid ran the floor. He's an excellent rebounder, I think. And again, the matchup difficulties he can present.
Technical foul has been assessed. UConn coach.
Yeah, Jim Calhoun just got a technical as well. So 3 fouls on Dyson, a technical on Jim Calhoun, and he is not enjoying his homecoming here at the moment.
And he's getting out of the box again. He's better be careful.
Well, he can't be enjoying the fact that his team has turned into a bunch of jump shooters. It's great to see them make shots, but that can't change the way that they play and the character of their team.
He was well out of the coach's box, and George Blaney just came over to him and told him, "Coach, you need to get back in the box."
As long as he's not clearly and completely out of it.
You know, it is amazing that when your team is faltering, you're not playing the way you like. It gets under the coach's skin, and they become irate and take it out on the three gentlemen in black and white.
Lynn Calhoun coached in this city for 14 years. Really built the program at Northeastern into a power. Great players like Reggie Lewis. And then departed for Connecticut. Took a program that was one of the worst in the country and has turned it into one of the best, including 2 national titles. Micah Downs now, after Bolden shot the technical free throw.
This is one talented player, Micah Downs, and he's just getting better and better. And I think as he gets, he's not going to get a whole lot bigger. It's not like he can put on a bunch of weight, but he is going to get stronger.
And they go that 2-2-1. It's passive. And then not there, huh?
Adrian's pass picked off by Pendergraft.
He's a smart player, David Pendergraft.
He sure is.
Good ball reversal. When they move it from side to side, they score.
And this kid can take it to the 10.
Matt Bolden, sophomore from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, 2-time Colorado State High School Player of the Year. Makes it a 9-0 run for Gonzaga. They have their largest lead. Timeout Connecticut, with Gonzaga leading by 6.
9-0 Gonzaga run gives the Zags a 6-point lead. And when Gonzaga reverses the ball, when they go from one side to another, Billy, they're really good.
And the other end of it, of course, the ability to hesitate, dribble, and you had mentioned off air the inability of the defense to get over and do a good job sealing. Everybody stayed out of the lane, and Bolden, don't let the hair get in your eyes as he attacks the 10 with the blow by.
From some of us would like to have. So Connecticut trying to find the answer. And that cuts the deficit at half. Jerome Dyson, another 3, his 5th 3-ball of the game. He had 4 in their first 6 games of the season.
You know, when he sets his feet and takes his time, much better shooter. Takes an awful lot of challenge shots, though. He needs to knock that off, and he'll shoot a better percentage.
Well, Pendergraft is wide open. Rebound down to Stanley Robinson. Here come the Huskies of Connecticut, down by 3. Nice defense by Micah Downs on Dyson.
Get somebody else involved. Come on.
Especially after the initial move was taken away. That's when you reset it and make Gonzaga guard you. This is a good, solid defensive team Gonzaga's got, but they don't have great individual defenders.
And here's Gonzaga early in the second half with 54 points on the road. In a week, they've gone from Anchorage to Philly to Boston. They played Thursday night in Philadelphia, playing a team that was one of the best in the country in field goal percentage defense last year in Connecticut. Mark Few said yesterday when we visited with him, right now this is one of the worst offensive teams that we've had. He thinks it'll be a very good offensive team when they get Josh Heitfeld and Stephen Gray back from surgeries here. Perhaps both of them back later this month, but it's a pretty good, this is the worst offensive team he's had. They've had a lot of good offensive teams.
Well, they've been very good on that end of the floor. It's the defense, I think, that makes or breaks them when they are tough at that end. But their ability, I think, at the guards over the years has really, you put it in good hands, they make good decisions, and they get everybody involved. That's what UConn, I thought he walked.
They got pushed. But one of the things about Gonzaga's performance today, they've gone with their tougher, more veteran lineup, and their top scorer, Austin Day, has spent most of the game on the bench.
He's got those 2 fouls, and they decided the second half this game wasn't for him early.
Fuso called for his 3rd foul, and now Downs his 1st. And here's Hashim Thabit at the free throw line. Hartford was almost a triple-double the other night against Florida A&M at the Hartford Civic Center. He had 12 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 block shots.
And he's shooting around 70% from the free throw line. It's a great-looking stroke. Last year, he struggled from the free throw line.
A great rotation, nice-looking release. He is rapidly improving. And Connecticut within 1.
And a sock ring on the floor, and this is the post-up guy. Very clever. Pretty good.
Bolden handed it off to Zachary. He's fouled.
Looked like it was on Curtis Kelly, but he's got to let that go because Tabit was there.
He was on Kelly, his first. When we come back, we'll talk about some of the leading candidates for the Bob Cousy Award, which goes to the best point guard in the country. A great array of winners of the Bob Cousy Award, the best point guard in the country, presented by the Hartford. Bob Cousy, among the many Celtics who've had their numbers retired, one of the great players in the history of basketball, and there are a number of compelling candidates for the award this year.
Well, and take your pick. I tend to think that Darren Collison of UCLA is the best point guard in the country, but Bill, you can make a great case for DJ Augustine, Derrick Rose, Mike Green at Butler. You know, it's been interesting. I think Butler has been one of the top 5 teams in the country based on their play to start the year. They have been absolutely magnificent, and they are so hard to guard. They've got shooters at every position, well coached, well drilled. They're going to be a tough out for anybody.
How would you like to be the sidekick to any of those guys? You're going to get the ball where you want it, when you want it. You mentioned Collison, of course, Graves, the sidekick for Green. A pretty impressive array of talent.
We spoke with Mark Few yesterday. He said he thought Butler might be playing the best basketball of anybody in the country right now. Dyson missed the 3 and it went over the backboard.
It's interesting. That's their low post set where they pop a guy out, and I didn't see anybody locking and begging for the ball in the box.
I can't believe that those are the shots. It's not a bad shot. I can't believe that's the shot that UConn wanted coming out of that last break.
You can always get that shot.
You can always get that jumper. And this UConn team has had success shooting it today, and they've fallen in love with the jump shot. They got to be tougher and get that ball to the rim, put themselves in a position to get fouled.
Bolden stepped on the line. That's a deep 2 and a 4-point lead. 8 points for Matt Bolden. He had 16 in their overtime win Thursday at St. Joe's. And strong to the bucket went Tabit, and he was challenged and fouled.
Don't you love that, though? Both players. You're not going to give up the easy one and take it at the big fella. And, of course, his energy. Here's a little freeze dribble, head and shoulder. Drill it.
Makes effective use of fakes. He's got such a great handle and a great feel. You have to respect his ability to drive it. And then he can pull up against a really fine athlete in Stanley Robinson and drill one.
And that's what set it up, Jay. You mentioned his ability to dribble. He's been going by guys. Now you're concerned about that. Sets you up, locks you in, and loads up.
Some problem over the scorer's table. The officials are going to go look at a replay monitor.
I'm guessing they're not sure who to give the foul to. Sacre was in the middle of it. Oh no, the 2. Okay, no, it is a 3, Sean. Huh?
Yeah, they're going to change it. They scored that at 2, but that is a 3.
Hey, Sean, while we have a second here, it must be a thrill for you going into the writer's room and the media room and seeing your dad's name, who's heralded and regaled here as one of the foremost sportsmen and writers. And I know you and Ryan were sitting there. It's got to be a special thrill.
It really is. It was very nice. My dad was a sports writer here in Boston for more than 40 years of the Boston Globe, and when he passed away about 5 years ago, the folks here at the TD Bank North Garden named the press room in his memory. They also hosted his wake here, which we were very grateful for because thousands of people came. We didn't know where we were going to do it if we didn't do it here. So it was a wonderful gesture and still very meaningful to our family every time we come in this building. Tabit missed the first free throw, so they have added a point on the 3 ball for Bolden. It's a 5-point lead. Pendergraft comes out, and Austin Day, who was Jay noted earlier, hasn't played much, comes back in. He played 4 minutes and 20 seconds to this point.
This right now for Gonzaga, pretty long, pretty athletic team out on the floor.
They're going to be scary good when they get Josh Heitfeld back. You know, Coach Few thinks his 6'11" forward, Heitfeld, a junior, could be a 20-10 player. And they have Stephen Gray, an outstanding shooting freshman guard at 6'4", is coming off a broken wrist. But Mark thinks he'll be a big help as well.
It'll be 6 weeks, they think, Sean. It's not great that he blocked, but that's what I like about him. He rests the derriere on the big guy, sort of takes his legs away.
Problem is there's still 6 feet of him above those legs.
Yeah, it's true. He does a little.
Connecticut caught Gonzaga a little off guard with the quick transition. Doug Wiggins, the bucket, one of 7 children from East Hartford, Connecticut, and he has the Huskies back within 2.
Maybe Wiggins can give this team the energy off the bench. That's been his role off the bench, to give them great energy, defense, An open court play.
Nice hands by Robinson. Saved the basket. They do go without the ball well, even Pargo. And by the way, Pargo's played well within himself. Hasn't forced the issue. Hasn't turned it over. He's made some good judgments.
He coughed it up 8 times in Alaska against Texas Tech. Probably his worst game in the last couple of years. So bounced back very nicely against Virginia Tech.
It's a pick and pop for the big fella. Now he's just not himself.
Well, a freshman in this environment after playing so much basketball, the travel, getting to play at Hawk Hill, St. Joe's, this is a difficult transition for any freshman.
Nice pass.
What a catch that.
The beat almost walked. Price couldn't make the shot. It gets ricocheted around. And it's out of bounds.
It's an inadvertent whistle, it looked like.
Yep. To Connecticut. Jim Calhoun was poised to scream and yell.
No.
And he got the call he wanted. And sent his best regards to the officiating crew.
Have a nice Christmas, fellas.
Now that last play, that's a play that Thabit's got to make. He's got to make that catch.
Robinson banks it in. 10 for Stanley Robinson, better than his average of 9 per game. UConn has tied it. Boy, Sacre got shoved by Thabit, kept his ground and scored.
He is a physical kid. Great insertion by Mark.
9 points for Sacre. A runner wouldn't go for Price. Out of bounds to Gonzaga.
Now right here, the adjustment, the little kiss at the end by Stanley. He does a nice understanding of what shot to give up and the power, Jay.
And Sacre just throwing his body into Thabit and knocking him backwards. Probably got away with a little shuffle of the feet, but strong interior play by Sacre. He has been a big lift.
Pargo took it right to Thabit and drew a foul. Women's college basketball Sunday night on ESPN2 features 2 of the top teams in the nation as number 4 North Carolina takes on Candace Parker and the top-ranked Tennessee Lady Vols. Women's college basketball, a big part of Jimmy B Week on ESPN2 Sunday at 7 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Thabit's foul, his 3rd.
And, you know, if you want to play major college basketball, you have to do what Pargo did. Go right at the big guy. And I know you get offended when they really body search and violate the position of the center or forward, but it's a great play.
It is a great play.
Go for the numbers.
It is a great play because the referees miss the call all the time. That's a bad. The thing that Thabit did wrong there is he brought his arms down, which gives the referees the opportunity to call that. But when a guy goes in, I don't care who it is, when you go in and, as you call it, body search, you know, he created that contact. Thabit had nowhere. The guy was moving backwards.
So what do you want the guard just to go in there and throw it up and say, go get it?
No, but you know, that's not a foul on the big guy. What he got called for is bringing his arms down.
Here you go. We'll take a look at it.
You can see he throws his body right into Thabit, and Thabit honestly never even touched him. Look at it, he never touched him.
Now you need a whistle.
Well, he didn't touch him. He's right. I hate to side with Jay. It's only the 2nd time in the last 5 years. But
prejudice against the big guys. It's horrible.
Thank you, Bill Walton.
Day was on the sideline. He's had a very tough game and needs to be careful there. He just slammed the ball into the ground, and Mark Few grabbed him and said, come on, wake up.
Yep, exactly.
I think Jim Calhoun's over there going, hey, wait a minute, I don't get to do that.
Yeah, he gets to do plenty else. Stroll to midcourt. So now the Huskies with the ball down by 3. Strong drive by Dyson. And he was fouled by Sacre.
Well, you could see that Pargo just took his eyes off Dyson, looking for a screen that was coming from up top. It never came, and as soon as he took his eyes off of Dyson, Dyson took it right to the rack.
And Sacre just a step late. I mean, a little more anticipation. Split the basket. Be prepared for that dribble drive.
So Jerome Dyson at the line, and the first one falls off.
You can see Pargo, look, he turns his head, and as soon as he does, Dyson does a great job of reading his eyes and taking him off the bounce. That's a solid read by Jerome Dyson.
And right away, the lecturing on the sideline. Ray Giacoletti first with Sacre, but Mark Few spending a little more time with Austin Day. He knows how good this youngster will be and can be. A freshman Big, long road trip, not easy.
And a great learning experience for Day, who is going to be a great player.
Gonzaga, despite the recent turnover problems, leading by 2. The last foul on Thackeray, his 3rd, the reason he came out. 5 team fouls on Gonzaga. First game of the day and a doubleheader here at the Hartford Hall of Fame Showcase. Boston College and Providence to follow. That'll be on ESPN Classic. Approximately 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Sean McDonough, Jay Billis, Bill Raftery. Delighted to have you with us at the sold-out TD Bank North Garden, which is rapidly filling. Thought we'd see a lot more folks in here when the Boston College football game ended, and it has. They lost to Virginia Tech in the ACC championship game.
And this is great coaching, by the way, Sean. Talk to your talented youngster and get him right back in the game. I love it.
And what a great play, that last defensive play by Micah Downs, jumping out into the passing lane. What happened there, that caused the travel by Stanley Robinson, was Micah Downs' alert play defensively.
Austin Day, freshman. Shot rolled out to Gavin Edwards.
A little quick.
Wide open for 3, and it wouldn't fall for Dyson, who was bidding to give the Huskies the lead again. Whoa! Ooh. Dyson very hard into our press table as he went for a steal near midcourt, and he is limping as he gets up.
Wow, hope he's all right.
Yeah, that was a very hard crash right at our feet. Downs has 13 points now.
Nice duck in. How about that? Oh, gotta finish it.
Adrian couldn't finish. Dyson still limping a little bit after the collision with our table here at center court. Foul on Cuso, his 4th, and a timeout. All right, Ryan, here in Boston, Ray Allen, former UConn star, here to cheer on his old school. Now helping lead the resurgence of the Boston Celtics and getting an assist as Lucky, the Celtics mascot, went in for the acrobatic trampoline-aided dunk.
That was Ray's 1st of the year.
Oh, what a great player.
And a terrific guy. You should see him at a golf ball, too.
I have seen it.
He's about a 5 handicap golfer.
And you know, Sean, how we talk about a guy's a good shooter. He was a great shooter.
And still is.
Yeah, open shots, and that's the even challenged.
Celtics are home here tomorrow in this building. So a number of the players are here. Remember the former UConn Huskies, Danielle Marshall is here. Donnie Marshall's doing a great job on the Celtics local TV package. As an analyst is here as well, cheering on the Huskies.
Got some Zags here too. Matt Santangelo was here, came over.
Doug Wiggins a miss, foul on the rebounding action, and a push-off against Gonzaga that looked a little bit unnecessary. They had good position under there, but Day got called for his 3rd.
It isn't Austin's day thus far, anyhow.
Well, it's been tough. He needs to get a lot stronger, and he's playing against some guys that are stronger than he is right now. He may be more skilled.
And the styles, too. You know, the different styles of play you got to become accustomed to. And even the whistle you got to become accustomed to.
Got to learn to accept the physical challenge. I mean, this is a very physical UConn team, especially defensively and on the glass.
Adrian made the first of a 1-and-1. It was the 7th team foul, so UConn will be shooting the rest of the game. And 11:15 remains here in regulation.
Because of the foul situation, that dictates that UConn cannot just settle for jump shots.
2 free throws by Adrian. He was one of 11 players named to the Big East preseason all-conference team. And a steal by Robinson. A chance for the lead for Connecticut. Robinson fouled. And he'll try to give them the advantage at the line.
And that's the case defensively. Not enough communication. He had help. Micah Downs in the middle. You got to talk, run, and help cover. But what a great step through both here and offensively, Jay.
Poor pass by Pendergraft, and Micah Downs needs to step toward that ball.
And Day just a little bit late getting to the middle. Should have screamed and hollered and out there.
You too, Vidal Sassoons, want to critique his hairstyle, since we got plenty of hairstyle commentary from our fine analysts earlier.
Well, you may not choose it yourself, but it is.
I couldn't choose that.
But it is very neat.
Could you if you could? Or would you? Look at them out scrapping right now on the boards.
Wiggins is really playing with a lot of energy all day.
Well, that's what he brings off the bench. And I know he wants to be a starter, But I think he's uniquely qualified to come off the bench and add that energy, something that not a lot of players can do.
No automatic switching on the perimeter here.
There you go. Well, that's the way to feed the post.
And got the hands. Nickel dimer by David.
They kind of let them bounce each other around all day, and then they get Pendergraft with a shove in the back. The 9th team foul against Gonzaga. Here in the second half, Connecticut's been called for 4. Wiggins goes to the bench behind assistant coach George Blaney.
Jeff Adrian at the line, shooting 1-1.
There's Adrian with what will be the last 1-1. It'll be 2 shots hereafter. Second team all Big East last year. He averaged 13 points and almost 10 rebounds per game.
A little bit of a struggle from the free throw line early on in the season, but that's an area where he's going to be a lot this year, so he's got to bang those down, take advantage of that opportunity at the line.
He exemplifies the toughness, I think, on this team. Just a very physical player, tough.
Lunch pail guy, would you say?
Absolutely. Because Sean always had a country club background. Wouldn't understand that.
UConn back on top. Well, they've had 2 memorable meetings and the only 2 prior connections between these 2 programs. The 1999 Elite 8, the 2005 Maui Invitational Championship game. And this one is looking like it might go right down to the last seconds.
He didn't realize there was going to be some help. Got to be tougher with it. Nice cut. Made himself available.
A.J. Price ripped it away from Austin Day.
Just didn't see the help side defense coming over, and Robert Sacre in all likelihood is coming in for Day. This game might be a little bit too much for him.
Adrian fouled.
Whenever you spin, you really have to watch out, and just a little spin move to try to take it into the middle and taken advantage of in a terrific strong move.
How about the pass, too? Delightful. And the mad face. I'm telling you.
You do that in the hotel room. It doesn't look quite the same when you do it in the mirror, does it?
I usually look that way when the lady gives me the check.
So Adrian, after the foul on Pendergraft. And Stanley Robinson the rebound. Oh, he got called for a travel. Looked like it was a held ball. Stanley didn't like it.
Just a bailout call. There was too much contact, and they didn't want to take a stand.
Just let him play. Let it go.
Now, a mini timeout called by Gonzaga. As UConn has opened up a 4-point lead. Mark Few, with his staff around him. 211 wins for Mark Few in his first 8 years. He's just starting his 9th year. Only Everett Case and Roy Williams had more wins all time among college basketball coaches in their first 8 years than Mark Few's 211, and they had 213. By percentage now, Mark is #1 in the country among all active Division I head coaches, among those who have coached at least 5 years.
Inch for inch, the finest coach in America.
I think you could say, regardless of height or lack thereof, certainly one of the finest coaches in America, and a great guy. He and his wife Marcy, since 2002, with a lot of help from people in the Spokane area, have raised just under $3 million for Coaches versus Cancer, with a great gala and golf tournament that they have that has become one of the premier events annually up in the great Pacific Northwest.
It really is a great event, and Marcy Few works tirelessly for that event. She's been fighting a little bit of mono, but is supposed to be feeling 100% the next week or so. Great slip.
Oh, beautiful. And the reaction. Gorgeous.
By Thabit, his second block. Connecticut trying to extend its run and its lead. And a travel to call.
Right out of the timeout. A play that they used against St. Joe's. The screen by Pendergraft, the slip, and Thabit. You see the little X, and then the screen, immediate slip. Beautifully run. No pressure on the ball by Stanley Robinson, but boy, when you've got an eraser on that pencil, that's pretty effective for your defense.
Boy, they spread you beautifully, though. The Zags.
Bolden for 3. They needed that. 9 minutes to go. 12 points for Bolden. 10 of them here in the second half. He has his team back within 1.
They go to the 2-3 zone now.
What a screen on that last play by Robert Sacre, huh?
Wiggins hoisted a 3, and Pendergraft controls off a ricochet.
Oh, give me a sellout for an open look. Oh, bad. Gamble.
Bolden turned it into 3 more in the lead for Gonzaga by 2.
Boy, you extend the left hand, you balance, you don't gamble. It's 5 against 4 then.
Well, UConn's only got 14 fouls. They've got to stay solid and make Gonzaga shoot over. Bad shot.
Way off by Adrian. He knew it as soon as he released it. Went racing after the rebound but didn't get there. Gonzaga numbers in transition. Pendergraft got the beat in the air. Sacre was in the lane a long time.
Great ball move.
And a hand check. Robinson called for a reach-in foul on Downs.
A ball screen here by Robert Sacre, and Robinson tries to go under, which you cannot do, and Sacre just opens up and pins him. And again, as you mentioned, Bill, the bad gamble by Dyson. You can't take yourself out of the play. Even if you get your hand on the ball, you're knocking it out of bounds. It's not worth it.
You know, when you have to beat in the back, you ought to blitz that ball screen. Just go after him. They slip, he's there.
Where Downs wide open, missed a long 2. His toes are on the line. Pendergraft tried to put it back up, and it's blocked out of bounds. Robinson and Thabit both put their hands up to try to block it. And a timeout, under 8 minutes to go. It's the Hartford Hall of Fame showcase. And it's Gonzaga on top. Ryan, thank you. Here's 7:59 to go. Back and forth go the UConn Huskies and the Bulldogs of Gonzaga in the second half. It's Gonzaga with a 2-point lead on the ball.
Matt Bolden is such a tough matchup. They've got A.J. Price on him now. He may be too small to guard him.
Well, they don't slip him in. When they do, he is a bear with the beat taken away from the lane. It could be very helpful.
Just bully him.
10 to shoot. Pendergraft to Bolden. Bolden a tough shot, and he makes another. What a second half Matt Bolden has had. He has 17 points, 15 of them since the break.
You can't keep going under. And the kid is tough. He elevated just as high as he had to deliver the punch.
That young man has got game.
He played all freshman team in the West Coast Conference last year, averaged 9 points per game. He'll do better than that this year. The beat left open at the foul line. Adrian, good position, and the score.
That's his game. Just bang and work. Create some space and gather.
I think they need to go back to Matt Bolden, get him on the low block, and let him go to work against A.J. Price.
They got Sacre outside, but look at the beat. He's a one-man zone in there. Look at him goes. He uses the pick and the runner.
Bolden, and he was fouled, and I believe it's on Thabit. And it is. And that'll be 4 on Hashim Thabit.
Jerry West, you guys remember that name, I'm sure. You only go up as high as you have to on a jump shot. He had to go a little bit higher, did the perfect thing with the form, and you give him space. He's able to knock him down.
Bolden scored the last 8 for Gonzaga. With 17 points and still 17 as the first one missed. He's 79% from the line. Curtis Kelly back in. Thabit will come out with the 4 fouls. 16 fouls now on Connecticut here in the second half. Bolden, after his first miss from the line, now 5 out of 6 with that make.
Well, they got a steal on this earlier in the game.
This is a little 1-2-2.
Lost it himself, I think. Oh boy, I don't know where he was going.
Well, a tough foul on Hashim Thabit on that last play. I mean, I've looked at it on replay off air a couple times, and I think he got that foul just because he's taller, honestly. I mean, Bolden went into him after the shot.
Yeah, it's tough to get suits at your size too.
Dyson was wide open, missed a 3 that would have tied it. Micah Downs rebounded.
Pargo can get down the lane, and he does have a little floater against the big guy.
Pargo has not turned it over in this game. He's been terrific. Pendergraft a miss. Sacre couldn't get the offensive rebound. 6 minutes to go. Gonzaga by 3. Lots of contact as Price collided. with Downs, and then the tip in by Curtis Kelly.
Boy, good attention to detail. Soft enough delivery to let the big guy finish.
And the shot block opportunity opened up the offensive glass.
Pendergraft is open and way off with it. Wiggins the hit ahead for A.J. Price.
Anytime you take a bad shot, it seems like there's a layup on the other end. And I think Pendergraft, who hasn't hit a shot since midway through the first half, might be a little bit fatigued.
Connecticut back on top by 1.
What defense by Wiggins, moving his feet to stay in front of Pargo.
And they had emptied the backside to let Pargo dominate.
Mark Few talked yesterday about we need to keep the ball moving from side to side on offense. They've done a good job of that today. 5 minutes to go. Bolden, not that time. Pendergraft well positioned. Downs for 3.
Look at Soccer compete.
But it's Adrian with the rebound.
Boy, what a great pass out by Pendergraft after that rebound. The opportunistic three-point opportunity. That could have been a big-time dagger.
Jeff Adrian now 15 points and 6 rebounds. Dyson and Price leading Connecticut with 17 points apiece. Bolden has 18 for Gonzaga, 15 for Pargo.
Not a good shot against the zone.
By Dyson. Pargo the push.
Look at this kid work the lane. What strength, huh? And poise in traffic.
Boy, he let the defense over pursue. That was impressive by Jeremy Pargo.
He's got a great feel, doesn't he?
Good genes in that family as well. His brother Gennaro, NBA player, now with the New Orleans Hornets.
Zachary coming over for the block, and that opened up the offensive glass for Curtis Kelly.
And this long jump shot, Pendergraft opens up the floor.
After the bad shot.
The corner jumper, and then how about this kid? Dancing at Boston Garden.
Boy, and that was exactly the right description, was poise. He had great poise under pressure.
Sean, you should pay attention. You might pick up some moves here.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves. Obviously not a lot of alums in this part of the country, but they do have enough that they had a viewing party here in Boston Thursday night to join together at a local establishment and watch the game against St. Joe's. Gonzaga won that one in overtime. They lead here 74-73, 4:13 to go. Off a 23-11 season last year. 9th straight appearance in the NCAA, and the way they play today, you'd have to guess they'll make it 10 in a row with this club.
And you know what, jumping to 7 straight WCC titles. They are a well-grounded group, and they like to play. You get that feeling when you watch them.
Great fan support in Spokane, almost unbeatable in their relatively new building.
Oh, that's my wide
athletic center. Adrian sent it off the foot of Downs. Downs was trying to tell the officials it went off Adrian's foot, but he was not persuasive.
And you know, Calhoun, we always talk about what he's accomplished. Off the timeout, the zone is wide open in the middle. They got it there, and unfortunately, the big fella, Adrian, wasn't able to complete it.
Well, they still have to go into that middle because they're bigger and stronger at that position. That's the only way to collapse it, to get an open shot.
Wiggins, an air ball, an open 3 off the inbounding play. Under 4 to go now. Gonzaga the ball in a 1-point lead. Pargo, Downs, Bolden. Kuso's back in there. And Pendergraft for the Bulldogs.
Now, there it is. They've been looking for that high-low for Bolden. Went out to beat. It's more available.
And Bolden will be at the foul line when we come back, as that puts Connecticut over the limit. The personal on Price, his third. Gonzaga by 1 after some nice offense.
And we talked about, Sean, earlier, having Matt Bolden get down into the post. You can see there's a little 2-3 set. They're going to bring it up around the free throw line extended, and Bolden is just going to run off of a little pick by David Pendergraft and pin his man, A.J. Price, whom he has a size and strength advantage into the post. A really smart move by Mark Few to get Bolden down into the post where he can exploit a matchup.
So Matt Bolden at the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Out of the timeout, Jim Calhoun has put the beat back in the game with 4 fouls. Stanley Robinson also with 4 has returned. Jeff Adrian rebounded to miss. Still a 1-point lead for Gonzaga. Now Price with Dyson, Adrian, Thabit, and Robinson for Jim Calhoun.
And Kuso with the 4 back in as well, Sean.
But usually you don't see Bolden missing free throws. He's missed too many in this ball game.
Wow. All that size and don't get a touch.
And Bolden called for the arm rake on Dyson. It'll be 2 shots the rest of the way for Connecticut. 3rd foul on Matt Bolden. I wonder if that's an area where the fatigue shows up. The free throw shooting has not been up to its usual standard for Gonzaga today.
Another area where they've had some issues is on the offensive glass. And Connecticut has really been dominant on the offensive glass and getting second chance opportunities.
You know, the more you watch this UConn team, where they've got the makings of being dangerous, I think.
They can be really good. I think they're still looking for that signature identity of theirs. They're still very good defensively. They block shots. They rebound pretty well. But offensively, they're still looking for exactly who they are and who's going to step forward as a leader and a dominant player for them.
I mean, they have a lot of very good players, but it's not like the UConn teams where there was an Okafor or Ray Allen or a Ben Gordon or a
Hamilton.
Richard Hamilton.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any superstar players.
Well, they're all young at once, and I'm not sure. I think you're right. I'm not sure they need a superstar player, but they do need someone who's going to take charge.
And I think Robinson could ultimately be that star, Sean, but I don't think he's ready quite yet. Kid's tough.
Pargo, real tough. The lead for Gonzaga with 3 minutes to go. 19 for Jeremy Pargo.
Pargo with the cargo to the tin.
And Robinson can't guard him on the perimeter. Got to get it into the middle. That middle is wide open.
Now the problem is you want to beat or Adrian around that foul line. I put Robinson in the middle, but how about this? You talk about individual ability, but they do a great job of lifting people, giving a great little guard room to roam and dominate.
Well, just a head and shoulder fake, the nice hesitation, but not a very good foul by Kuso on the other end. Got to be more disciplined than give an easy opportunity from the free throw line to A.J. Price.
He is fouled out with no points. He averages 9 points, 4 rebounds per game as a starter, but really Sacre, who just came in for him, has been a better player today than Kuso. 17 for A.J. Price, averages 13 points per game. And he misses the first of 2. 2 out of 3 from the line now. Is Jim Calhoun giving his own player the choke sign there?
I missed it, Sean.
It looked like it. He was just rubbing his neck.
My guess, remember the word poise on him earlier? He just kept the bounce, took his time. Unfortunately for them, he could not finish.
Well, the high pick, and that's going to make Bolden make a decision.
There it is. You got to make these, though. See, I put Robinson in there, Jake. Whoa.
Pendergraft was tripped by Thabit, and he's fouled out.
A little Rocket move in front of Coach Calhoun. Well, you know, you got that middle area, and yet you need a guy who can ring the bell, and Thabit, not necessarily that guy, and neither is Adrian.
So Thabit gone, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 block shots after Adrian missed an open jumper in the lane.
Wow.
Yeah, he did kind of stick his leg out a little bit here.
Well, even if he didn't, that one's a foul. The problem is he had the 2 phantom fouls that makes 5 for him, and now he's going to have to sit out the rest of the game.
You only need 1 phantom foul to be a problem, first or second half, no matter where it is, particularly if you're a big guy, because you're always touching bodies.
So Thabit out of Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, city of more than 2.5 million people.
Number 14, Curtis Kelly.
Heads to the bench for the rest of this one. 2:04 to go. He leaves in a tie game at 76. Curtis Kelly replaces him.
You know, Sean, I mentioned, I had a chance, as you did, listening to Jim Calhoun, comparing his big guy with Dikembe Mutombo. At the same time, he thinks he's more advanced, Thabit. And I would agree with him.
At this stage of his development, Pendergraft makes his first free throw of the day. 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists for Pendergraft, as usual. Doing a lot of things to help his team. Had knee surgery after last season, arthroscopically.
Here comes the double high pick again. And Pendergraft is going to screen Kelly.
Oh, Pargo splits the defense. That big rebound a moment ago, the 11th for Micah Downs off the bench today.
Unbelievable on the boards. What an addition.
Tough shot, and Pargo makes another.
He has been dynamite in this ball game.
Totally under control.
21 points for Pargo, double his season average. The lead 3 for Gonzaga. A minute and a half to go in Boston. Price couldn't get the runner to go. Last touch by Gonzaga. Sacre tried to get the call, but the officials got it right.
Well, Sean, you mentioned the rebound. That's what set it up. Downs rebounds. The guard who's dominating at the 10. A little step back, jack, and nails.
And they've been curling all those screens on the wing and getting great opportunities out of it. And A.J. Price is limping all over the place out there.
Timeout call.
They're going to call the time. Yeah, I thought maybe there's asked the ref for 2 apiece, and I think they do. I think they're going to continue playing.
Well, apparently just an injury check here, and Price is going to sit down now. So that will not be a charged timeout. And we put the hash mark back for Connecticut. Love their team name. A sloppy turnover.
And you don't need it here.
Yeah, Pargo in a hurry did draw the foul, and then a hard collision as Robinson landed on Pargo. Thankfully, he's smiling as he was at the base of the basket support, and Robinson came crashing right down on top of him.
And if Pargo stayed down there for a half hour, he deserves it. I mean, this trip, really the lead guy all the time, pretty much. Bolden will help with the ball handling. I don't think he needed that, Jay. I think he could have fan dribble. You got points. You got time. Fortunate to get the free throw line, but I think the seconds become as essential.
He's played the entire game. Jeremy Pargo, the thin at point guard. We mentioned Stephen Gray, the freshman, who helped give them backcourt depth.
Gonzaga's had the opportunity to put this thing away. They just haven't made their free throws down the stretch.
Robinson goes out.
They go small right now.
Robinson was fouled out.
I'm up empty.
UConn needs to get something in the lane going to the 10.
Well, usually, let's see, what is matchup zone going? Where's the box? Timeout. Jim wants timeout.
Gonzaga now just 15 out of 26 from the free throw line. Ooh. Jim Calhoun right in the face of Craig Austrie. Well, the last time these two teams met, a little over 2 years ago in beautiful Maui in the championship game of the EA Sports Maui Invitational, it went right down to the final seconds. Denham Brown with that shot with a second to go. The desperation heave by Adam Morrison from half court did not fall, and Connecticut beat Gonzaga 65-63. Hilton Armstrong with the championship trophy. Of course, Gonzaga was coming off a memorable overtime win against Michigan State, which was one of the best games we've ever seen.
I would agree. Maybe the best one the three of us were involved in.
And this is the first time these two teams have been over 70 together. Gonzaga with a chance to go over 80, both of them.
Yeah, their other meeting was in the Elite Eight back in 1999. Even though Gonzaga lost that, a lot of people thought that was the game that really got them off and running as a national power. UConn won 69-62, went on and won the national championship.
Man to man for Gonzaga.
After the timeout, a nice use of the baseline bump. Oh, where are you going?
Held ball. He's going into a held ball. Dyson with Pendergraft holding it. And on the arrow, it'll stay with Connecticut. 9 seconds to shoot, 46.5 to play in regulation. And Jim Calhoun and the Huskies down by 3.
A nice position defense by the Zags.
UConn has to move the ball. They can't expect to get everything off of a same-side drive.
How big would it be for Gonzaga to get a win like this on their resume on the road right after beating St. Joe's in Philly? Tough shot, wouldn't drop for Dyson, and Bolden's in the right place. 2 Huskies down behind the play.
They need to foul.
Yeah, they do.
And they do. Dyson commits the foul.
Interesting, the mix from zone to man just threw them off a little bit, UConn.
Washington and Oklahoma State. As soon as we're done here, we have more action from Boston as the Hartford Hall of Fame Showcase continues on ESPN Classic with Boston College and Providence. As a team, Gonzaga's made only 2 of its last 8 free throws, and Pargo was 3 out of 8 from the line. Ongoing problem, came in at 56% for the year.
And boy, your point guard, it's so essential that he ring the bell.
And for UConn on the other end, when they were down 3, you get the feeling with the lineup on the floor, who's going to take the shot, who's going to make the shot. A lot of question marks for them offensively.
No, and the biggest play, I think, was Adrian in the 3-second lane, gets a great look, and they don't convert it.
Double bonus each way.
Get it to the rim.
2 big makes by Pargo after they have been more than wobbly as a team from the line. 5-point game, 30 seconds to go. Banked in by Price. He barks at the ref. He thought he was fouled.
He was hit. There's no question that he was hit.
AJ with a big-time kiss. He may be the guy. He's got to be the guy that leads this club.
But look how aggressive they were. I mean, I know it's a late-game situation. You want to try to get some contact, get to the rim. Nice little hesitation. He was hit. I mean, that is a foul. There is no question about that.
We got a little discard, but that's legal offensively. But you're right. That's something to be creative against the zone as well. You don't just have to pass it there.
But when they're aggressive, this team is much better offensively. And because of their early success shooting the ball, I think they fell a little bit in love with the jump shot.
So a big bucket by Price. One of 40 preseason candidates on the watch list for the Bob Cousy Award as the top point guard in the country, presented by the Hartford. So you'd think they'd go for the quick steal here, and if they don't get it, the foul?
Pargo would be the guy, really, because he's struggling, and maybe Pendergraph.
Yeah. But the quick steal, you don't necessarily have to foul right away. You can try to maybe get a quick trap off the first pass, but you can't let it go too long, and you certainly can't let the ball get away from you where you have to chase to make a foul.
Probably put Kelly on the ball.
And Gonzaga will be able to run the baseline.
It's interesting that Gonzaga's got everybody up. I would get people back now, make it a little tougher to guard the whole floor. Sacra's the guy that's going to get the catch.
And you have to watch long because Bolden can pass it long, and he is smart.
They should let Sacra get it and give the foul to the big guy. That's what I would do. Defend everybody else.
Bolden struggling to get it in, and it's knocked out of bounds by Connecticut.
Sean, this is the hardest spot on the floor to inbound from.
You surprised? I know Days had a terrible game, but he is a 90% free throw shooter. You're surprised he isn't in the game?
Timeout right now for Gonzaga.
You know, it's a thought, but I don't know. Instead of Sacra, you mean, Sean?
Well, here he comes now. So
good call, Coach.
He called a timeout, and he just went running over to the scorer's table. Well, we have a second. Let's send you back to the studio. Here's Ryan.
All right, thanks, Sean. Just a reminder, coming up next, Washington versus Oklahoma State. They have indeed tipped in Stillwater. The Cowboys out to a quick 7-4 lead. As soon as we go final in Boston, we'll get you out to Oklahoma State. Sean, we'll get back to you for the final 28 seconds.
All right, it should be a good final 28 seconds. Gonzaga, the Road Warriors, ending a 5-game road trip, 3 in Anchorage at the Great Alaska Shootout, where they went 2-1. A game Thursday night, an overtime win against a good St. Joe's team. And now trying to beat the UConn Huskies, who are only about an hour and a half away from their campus in Stores.
And Mark has Pargo take it out, so they can't foul him.
And Dave, a great free throw shooting, just lob it up to him.
Look at that.
A tough entry into Bolden, and he gets tackled by Wiggins.
Sean, we talked about this kid posting up. He just posted up in the backcourt and begged for the entry pass. He just turned that big, wide body, sealed his guy off, and he wasn't going to give it up.
So 2 free throws for Bolden. 5 out of 7 from the line.
And Bolden at the line, shooting 2.
You joined us late. Gonzaga trailed by 10 in the first half. Did not lead until the final second of the first half when Pendergraph hit a 3 to put them up by 1 at the break. It's been back and forth here in the second half.
I would be still willing to go for 2 as fast as you can.
You can still stretch this game out. There is plenty of time if you get the ball down court quickly and get it to the rim. And then you can draw at the defense and maybe kick it out for an open 3.
1 out of 2. The free throw woes continue for Gonzaga, but they lead by 4. No timeouts for Connecticut.
He got hit.
Oh, he did get hit while shooting a 3. Wow. What a terrible mistake by Pargo. Price very nearly was going to the line with a chance to tie the game.
Overzealous, slide by the guy, don't get involved. I don't think the leg came out either.
Well, you don't. I don't even think you want to go by him. You just want to put some pressure on the shot. I'm not a big believer in the flyby.
Well, he's committed already, is what I meant. Make sure you go by. I agree. You close out under control and go straight up.
Make him shoot over. You don't want to give up drive either. You want to stay solid, and that's really the first mistake that Pargo's made in this game.
Price will shoot 3, 71% for the year from the line. Even off the last couple of games, it scored only 8 points total in the last 2 games after averaging 22 points per game in the previous 3.
Including some big ones against Memphis.
Yeah, he had 23 in their loss to Memphis. Jim Kelly said we lost the game, but Price was great.
And he plays great. They're a different team.
Robinson in. Earlier we believed he had fouled out, but they actually charged that foul to Dyson. So Robinson playing with 4.
What a huge play that foul on Pargo is.
Gets him right back in it.
Chance to make it a 1-point game. He does not. He knew it. He went after his own rebound, got a hand on it. It's on the floor. It's a held ball, Gonzaga ball.
Boy, great effort by everybody expended on that particular play. There they go, the ability to shoot free throws, a soccer out. And day in, I think few once a few seconds.
30-second timeout, Gonzaga.
The 44-year-old head coach, Oregon native, looking for a career win number 218. He was an assistant for 10 years at Gonzaga before he became the head coach. Ray Giacoletti has joined the staff after serving as head coach at Utah. They've had nice consistency on that staff. Leon Rice in his 9th year, Tommy Lloyd in his 7th year.
And Billy Greer, who had spent 16 years at Gonzaga, now the head coach at the University of San Diego.
And
in their league.
And a couple of years ago, Dan Munson told me, don't forget, I was the architect of the Zags.
Well, he does deserve credit. He did really help build it. And Mark Few has more than sustained the momentum. It was handed to him by Dan Munson, who's now the coach at Long Beach State. So they break the huddle with Bolden inbound at this time. Pargo, Downs, Pendergraft, and Day. Only 1 timeout left in this game. It belongs to Gonzaga, so they can use it if they can't get it in.
Now this is a better setup, I think. A little diagonal screen to get free and keep the bigs away.
Bolden into Day, a great free throw shooter. He's had a very tough game, and he's fouled by Adrian.
Does that tell you the confidence they have in the big fella? Don't get there. Don't get
from
there.
The line today. Sorry, Bill.
I'm sorry, Sean. Don't get there too early. Right, Jay?
Well, it depends. He's made 26 in a row, so he can get there whenever he wants. Whatever works for a particular shooter. That's what most coaches would say is, get off the line, step up to it when the referee gives you the ball. But
he's ready.
When a guy never misses, I don't question it.
Doesn't look real relaxed, and you got to understand why. A 19-year-old freshman playing in his 8th game at the college level has made 26 in a row.
Look at that. Butter.
Oh, looks a lot more comfortable now, doesn't he?
Oh, early onions. Yeah, get there whenever you want. Camp out.
Talking noise to the crowd.
Well, he's had a nerve-wracking experience already. His dad, Darren Day, the former UCLA star and NBA player, came to the career debut for Austin against Montana, and Austin said it was a very nerve-wracking experience to have his dad there for the first game of his career, but he responded. He had a double-double, 20 and 10 against Montana.
Wow.
And calmly makes 2 free throws here to make it a 2-possession game unless they're foolish enough to foul another 3-point shooter.
Does that tell you something about that kid? You know he struggled all day, and just to reach back, oh, that is marvelous.
Then you want to attack the rim.
Oh, goodness. Settle.
Yeah, for a wild 3 by Dyson. on the floor, held ball again, this time to Connecticut with 8 seconds to go.
You want to force Connecticut to keep it on the perimeter. Now, this is one of those dribble right to the tin. If they step up, dish to the big.
Get a quick score. Is still time.
Day back in for Larry Gregenius. Trouble getting it in. They don't have a timeout.
UConn ball.
Pretty well defended by Gonzaga.
Jim Calhoun was looking for a big to go in. He just didn't have anybody left.
You just don't want to give up an easy open opportunity. Make UConn shoot over you and rebound it. This is where rebounding
Look at this.
Too easy.
Oh, what a slip to the rim.
And Price the score. Wiggins found him. Still time. 6.7 to go. And Day, the freshman, they need to foul him. They took a little bit of time to do that. Adrian and Dyson were there. It looked like neither one of them wanted to foul. Dyson in particular, because he has 4. They did charge that to Adrian, his second.
It looks like they didn't want to foul because they knew he was going to can the free throws.
How funny is this, Sean? Look how early he is there. I mean, he's ready.
Hey, just give me the ball, please, Mr. Referee.
Let's get them in here.
The Huskies taking their time to get along the lane. So he's back there for 2 more. 4 for 4 in this game. Giving him 28 straight makes.
Oh, my goodness. Honey. Oh.
Well, this is the big one. He misses. Connecticut could tie it with a 3.
What a competitive kid.
Short. Adrian the rebound. They could tie it with a 3 ball. Price from very deep, off the mark to the right. And Gonzaga comes east and scores a big win. Their first ever against Connecticut in 3 tries. Another one that went right down to the wire. Austin Day had a terrible day through most of it, but made all the big free throws down the stretch. Missed the last one, but he did enough to give them the 85-82 win. Coming up next, action with the Big 12 Pac-10 Hardwood Series, Washington, Oklahoma State. Now for Jay and Bill, Sean McDonough. So long from Boston. Let's go to Stillwater to John Shambi and Fran Fraschilla.